I grew up with praising others, having empathy for others, and animals and the poor. And we didn't have anything, but we'd be walking down Pawn Shop Road, which was where we used to hang out in San Diego, California. That's where we used to get things. I would just go to the movies there, get a haircut at the barbershop college for 50 cents. So that was one of our places to hang out. And one time we saw a man who couldn't see, who must have been 85, and there was a place where you buy pancakes, and my mother wished she had something to give him, but she didn't have anything. And I remember she burst into tears, and I burst into tears. So that was us. That was me and my mom trying to do something for someone, and not having anything to offer. And we just didn't have it at that moment. So I naturally do this. I naturally like to believe in helping others. And people, people do tell me their stories, or I'll ask them for their stories. I'll overdo it. I'll be so involved with reading a poem that's hard to read because it's so painful, about undocumented women in buses being hauled somewhere, and people not wanting for that bus to come into their town, and they're caught in between. I have a poem called Border Bus about that, and not too long ago I was reading it in San Jose, California, Cal State San Jose, and I got so involved in that poem that I couldn't read it anymore. I was like, it's like when you have a nightmare and you can't get out of it, and you're struggling with the pillow and you're trying to, you just can't get out. You're caught in that nightmare. I was caught in that poem like that. I wanted to finish reading it, but I couldn't. I was just caught in by a solar plexus. I don't know where I was, but I was going to burst out crying as loud as I could, but I was going to finish reading it, and I did. I made it to the end of that poem. So there is a point where I overreach. And it's okay if people want to tell me their stories or need any help. Just the other day, a couple of days ago, in Hickory, North Carolina, signing book table, a man was at the signing table, and he said to me, with his daughter must have been in middle school or high school. He said, "Can you help her? She's writing, and she needs help on her writing." He says, "I'll pay you if you give her a little workshop." And I wasn't about to charge him, and he didn't have like $1 billion to give me. Besides, I wouldn't do that. So I had a conversation with her, and I said, "Well, what are you writing about?" And I gave her some responses. So we did it right there. So I'm open to as much as possible, and but I don't say I'm the answer. I tell people, well, you're a leader. You're a leader. You have the answer. You're intelligent. You have new ideas. You're from a new generation, and you're doing great. Parents, you're doing great. This is going to work out, and you have the answer. You're the leaders here. You're the pioneers. It's not easy to be a migrant. You're pioneering a new road. That's what I do. I don't say I know everything. I said you know everything. So that's what I do when I'm out there. And I know I do get to the hotel all crunched up like an ancient Frito boat, but that's okay. The next day I re-energize. I get some vegetarian food, and I'm back on my feet.